Hi everyone, this is Jackie Ray, again your librarian here at Blue Mountain Community College, and this is one of those series of tutorials on how to get a little glimpse into our library databases and resources, but then also how to embed these into your Canvas course if you're interested. This particular tutorial is going to cover opposing viewpoints, and just like with any of these tutorials, I can design and make specific ones at any time. So if you have a tutorial on library resources that you want tailored to your class, I can do that. Just let me know. As always, I'm going to start here at the beginning. You might already know where to go, but you would start from the college homepage, click on library, and here we are. And we would scroll down and click on our library databases. So I've covered streaming media in another tutorial if you haven't seen it yet, but where we're going to spend most of our time is in our top library databases. And our top library databases, they're simply the ones that are used most frequently, are the most accessible for college level students, the ones that they really kind of need to get set up for success at this Gen Ed level. And I have them broken up into kind of more topical databases and then kind of more advanced research-heavy databases. These I would say are a little bit more for exploring, depending on the course level, maybe a little bit more in-depth exploring. They do tend to have some great articles and statistics and such, so they're not that limited. But these are the databases students will use and usually faculty start using because they're really kind of crafting and curating their own research and ideas at that point. So they just have different functions. They're all useful in their own way. So we'll start with opposing viewpoints. Opposing viewpoints you may have used or seen in your past work. It's used in our high schools quite a bit. And the reason you may have seen it is it's a pretty easy database to use. It's comfortable, but it's owned by a company called Gale. And the Oregon State Libraries has a mission to provide some sort of database access to all Oregonians. And so every 5 years they do a review and a winning contract comes out, and it's Gale. It's been Gale for a while now, probably since 2009, I would say, maybe 2010. Anywho, so it may be one you have seen before because of that. And it's, helpful for your students to know that, as they leave BMCC, they, as an Oregonian, still have access to this. So if they ever feel a need to do some sort of research, the Gale products are something they have access to. So a couple quick tools I want to point out. If we go here under More, these educator resources, just really handy. They have some great tip sheets from how to helping your students choose a topic, worksheets, basic things. I know there's a million tools like this out there, but I just think this is one more resource. And you'll also see what I'll be kind of covering as part of what's covered here in this little one-sheeter on how to share information from Gale resources with your class. And I actually did put a PDF of this into the Canvas page, so you can also access it there. Because there's 4 main ways, but I think we'll focus on 2. So back to the database. This database, you have a big search box, so you can certainly search by that. I don't always do that. What I find that students often use this database for is when they are kind of thrown into that situation of, okay, I need a 5-page persuasive paper on whatever you choose. And for a lot of students, that's new and really scary. If they've written papers before, they may have been assigned topics. So this is really kind of throwing them into that, wild world of gather some background information, pick a topic you're interested in, try to scope it down so it's narrowed down so it's researchable. And you can also find your own voice in that topic, so you can enter into that kind of scholarly conversation. And that's really overwhelming for a lot of students, as you can imagine. So this database can kind of help with that. There's that big search bar on the top. You can do that. But you can browse all topics if you'd like, which is quite lengthy. Everything from 9/11 attacks to, let's just go down to Z. But I think they do actually have zoos and aquariums. So actually there's probably a lot on zoos and aquariums and animal rights, I'm sure. These can be very specific, maybe as specific as apparently as Western diets, and or they can be very broad. They can be as broad as multiracial America seems kind of broad in some ways to me. So something to keep in mind. So there's that browse, but then there's scope down a curated to a more topical level. So students might say, you know, I'm not sure what I'm interested in, but you know, I'm really interested in energy and environmental issues, for example. There's always a top 3 listed, and that's usually just an order of popularity or if it's new. But there is more. You just click View All, and you will see this is a smaller one, a shorter content area, but you see, again, everything from activism to, again, back to our zoos and aquariums. So, well, this is new. Let's just go ahead and click on plastic waste. Oh, renewable energy is actually maybe a good one too, but I haven't seen this one, so let's see this one. So, actually, no, I lied. I am going to click on renewable energy because it probably will have more, and I'm going to point something out. Okay, so renewable energy, right, that of course could be a lot of different things. That's a broad topic, right? Because renewable energy, your students might find themselves saying, well, actually maybe I need to focus on a particular kind of renewable energy, right? Maybe I just need to focus on solar power, water reclamation, hydroelectric power, nuclear power, whatever I need to focus on. You know, they learn quickly that this is too broad. Wind power, how could I forget that? So that can be helpful, but still it gives them a background to the topic and sometimes other keywords that they might want to think about. Like, again, they might think of, here they are listed here, solar, geothermal, wind, hydropower. It might also help them think through, well, gosh, there's different ways to think about renewable energy. Should I think about it from a business and economics point of view? Any sort of legal point of view, technology point of view? What are the things that should be considered? So on this page, and we'll scroll down to those, there's the different viewpoints, there's different academic journals, there's, of course, references, those encyclopedias and that sort of thing. Videos, audio, we'll look at them. So again, always the top 3. There's more. So under academic journals, there's actually 74. Under viewpoints, 277, that sort of thing. And you would just click there to get all of those resources. And clicking here on, I'll just start with viewpoints. The viewpoints can be a good start. There can be a good background. They're a little bit more, I would say, newspaper or, popular title, like Time magazine form of writing. So they're considered opinion. They're usually, extracted and, maybe summarized by a reporter of some sort. They're not viewpoints just by, walking down the streets of New York and polling people. They're actually considered opinions, usually by somebody you can trace and find out more information on. And while not always perfect in these viewpoints, they do try to offer opposing points of view. It's the Opposing Viewpoints database. And this can be really helpful for students who are trying to integrate other ideas into their argument. So again, they're not always right next to one another, but here's an example right here. Diverse alternative energy sources will be essential to the future. Well, this person's arguing that they're too costly and unreliable, so that sort of thing. Wind energy should not be exempt. This is affordable and has low environmental impact. So, so some of these things, this calls it disruptive. So anyway, we'll just go ahead and click here on this viewpoint. So you can see this is where it came from. It came from this fossil fuel versus renewable energy sources. So you could link to the original source, and kind of make some assessments here. But when you're in here, what's helpful is that you can save these to your Google Drive. So if you as a researcher or you as somebody who's trying to build up content for your Canvas course, I've gotten really just used to saving things in my Google Drive, and then I have this repository, and then I put it back into Canvas. But you can also create a temporary folder here. If you really wanted to use this and say this is the thing you wanted your students to read, you could just bookmark it. And again, this should be a permanent URL. You should be able to put this into your class and be able to access this. Again, you can also email it to yourself. If you wanted to add this to your folder and build a folder, again, you would have to log in. You have to sign in with Google, which I think that's why I just use Google Drive. But if you wanted to have a whole body of these readings on this subject in that folder, that could just be one upload, and then you could link to that folder. Again, students love the citations tools, so if you are teaching a class where they use MLA, it's right here, and usually pretty good. They usually need to tweak it, but if your students are using APA, or if you're teaching history and they're using Chicago, it's kind of handy. Students do love it. So, and again, I don't want to belabor this too much, but there's some other helpful things. If you wanted to limit by subject, you could certainly do that. If your student said, okay, wow, this is too much, I really want to focus specifically on nuclear energy. We're still in the viewpoints at this point, but everything's focused now on nuclear energy, so a lot narrower, a lot more focused content. So very useful. I'm just hitting the back arrow here. And again, same thing, with any of these resources. Even the videos, you can do a couple different things. You can find one of these videos. You can, let's just click on one here. The video, this is where you would play the video. Should be able to grab that embed code file, just like we did before in another resource. And in this case, it's just linking us to it. So you might have to play with some of these and go away OPB and play with how you might find that embed code and then using that same feature. Take a look at it that way. So it's kind of interesting, but it looks like you can also add this to YouTube. So there's some different ways to work with some of these things. And anyway, so that's opposing viewpoints in a nutshell. The thing you would really use, let me close out of here, is every time you find something you like, just find the bookmark. There's the URL, and you can kind of build it up that way. Those readings will be there for you. You can title the reading. So, for example, let me copy that. If you wanted to say article, what was it, renewable energy article. Oops. There it is, and say I wanted to just hyperlink, link to URL, and paste, insert link, and there's the article. So that's really what you would do in those next steps to embed it into Canvas. So I hope that makes sense. This video is a little longer than I intended. Try to keep them less than 10 minutes, but I think hopefully easy. Again, just ask me if you have questions. If you ever run into access issues, there could be something going on that we can fix too. There could be something as simple as a link's a little bit off to there's something actually going on with our servers, and we can fix that. So, but yes, don't hesitate to contact me if you need help. Okay, thank you.